Hi and welcome back everyone to part 3 of the My Team career with GridTalk Racing. We're starting the weekend at Bahrain, and after the, in my opinion, successful weekend at Australia, I think this will be as well a successful weekend at Bahrain. So we skip a little bit of time to see how we are at the end. Currently we are P20 and our teammate make at P22, and we're doing a last lap on softs to potentially make it into Q2, but I don't have very high hopes for it. All the slower cars are on their outlaps. And I had a very little moment of oversteer and I bottled the lap, getting it off track.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today? You won't be starting at the front of the pack. Are you worried? Appreciate your time.
The stage is set for another enthralling race here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in years gone by, but will they be able to add to their record today? Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, and Albon, Sainz, Perez, Norris, and Lance Stroll, Bottas, Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and Kvyat, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi, and George Russell, Magnussen.
So it's P21 for us, with Mick starting P20.
So let's go down to the track.
So our car is on temperature to get the maximum out of the start. And it's lights out at Bahrain. Hamilton gets away well. Verstappen as well, the two Ferraris behind them. Bit of a mess in the midfield. And there's already a part of the front wing flying off. We're trying to sneak around the outside of Raikkonen. No, sorry, that was Giovinazzi. Coming towards turn 4, and we have passed Magnussen by at this point. Now George Russell in front of us, but also trying to keep Magnussen behind us. We have won 3 places at the beginning. Late braking into that corner to pass Russell there. And by the last corner we passed Grosjean. All this happening on lap 1. And Grosjean pitted, which means that was the part of the front wing we saw in the beginning. So Magnussen is getting bigger in a rear mirror. And it's not easy to defend him. Especially when you try to close the gap to the pack in front, which was my main goal at this moment. Now on that straight, Magnussen is trying to pass us, but we can defend him. But I think we can't do this one more time. He's already getting closer. And with 0.6 seconds into the DRS zone.
We're leading our teammate by 1.5 seconds.
From there we can defend him. but he's coming very close. Which also means we lose time to the pack in front.
Ahead is 3.8 seconds.
At the beginning of this fight they were like 1.8, 2 seconds ahead of us, and now it's almost 4 seconds. Now the first cars are going to pit, and this is the lap where Magnussen
Pit window, you'll be on the
overtook us. I'm trying to get a position back at the end of turn 1, but I didn't manage it. But now we're trying to stay exactly behind him. And I thought there was a bit of contact there between Magnussen and myself. Trying to dive into the last corner, but it only gives us a warning for exceeded track limits.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
Now with lap 7, 1 lap to go to pit, and at a not very normal position for a spin we spun, and also Vettel hits us. I really didn't saw him. I watched the replay instantly from where he came. And even he slowed down and then just accelerated again, which I really don't understand.
Okay, clear.
Indication for us to pit to serve the penalty and getting a new set of tires. The cars who had pitted are going to pass us very easily, but I try to defend, which isn't very clever, to be honest. And now we're even behind Grosjean, who pitted at lap 1.
Pit strategy complete. See these tires through to the
Due
end
to
now.
front wing damage. And it honestly is a weekend to forget. I try to get the maximum out of it now with 6 laps to go. But write it in the comments, please. What do you think? Was it... I really didn't saw Vettel at this point. And you saw the replay. He like slowed down and accelerated again when I was exactly in front of him. So just type down what you think. I completely agree if you say it was my fault, but I would say it was partially my fault. And lap by lap we're getting closer to Grosjean again, which isn't really a thing because he is on the hard tires from lap 2 on, and our tires are now 3 laps old. Now getting closer to Grosjean, going to the outside and overtake him in the last corner with 2 laps to go. Now getting a bit of free air to get it home. I tried to close the gap to Latifi, but 5 seconds, or almost 5 seconds, is just too much for this part of the race with old tires. Even if he pitted a lap before me. And we're going into the last lap of the race.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
From
This is your final lap,
P21
final
to
lap of the race.
P20 due to a mistake and a 5-second penalty. There was definitely more in it, but we just couldn't manage to handle it.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Tell me, Ant, how did they
So
manage to
Lewis
achieve
Hamilton
this win?
is the race winner, and Max Verstappen setting the fastest lap.
That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. So let's review the updated
So
driver
it's
stats.
P1 for Lewis
Great
Hamilton,
result
P2
Lewis
for Max
Hamilton,
Verstappen,
moves
and
further
P3 for
ahead
Alex
on
Albon.
the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
That's got to be
With
the flying figure.
Mick Schumacher into P17, he managed his race definitely better than we do.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. You lost to your teammate today. Was it just not your day? Do you have any comments about the collisions? Well, thanks anyway.
So setting our activities for the next week towards the Vietnam Grand Prix at the 2nd of April. Checking our R&D tree, investing our development points, and yeah, thank you for your time and see you at the next part.